No, I'm not periscoping my mic. I just have a very, very bad connection right now with a very
Okay.
old antiquated computer system. I'm going to adjust my a very big sunny house.
Yeah.
Hi guys, how you been? Missed you all.
I'm okay.
Well, I didn't ask about you.
Hi over there, Steve. Way over there.
Pseudo. So
Okay.
saying what I well, let's just about admin stuff. Just last week, I haven't really stayed in line because I'm on a piece of shit. Atlantic. So, what's going on? Anything exciting new?
I
Dumb fuck of the year.
Oh, I remember that.
I watched, but
Like I was part of the conversation, but I didn't stay that for that long because it was long. So.
Like two. It was like 2 hours.
oh, I came up.
I dropped half.
I came across a we're able to have our own opinions. Tommy, your opinions. There's a difference between being opinionated and being a dick.
Well, it's a difference.
Okay, so you guys disagree. Well, that's your opinion. But I have my own opinion. But look, that post was not meant to be distributed all throughout, Plus. I mean, it was on Arcane's thread, and had I been interested in making such a proclamation and whatnot, I would have made a new thread starter with it. I mean, sure enough, JD went ahead and spread it around. That's fine, but it's something that's my own opinion, and if people don't agree with me, fine. That's their opinion.
Wait,
So
are we
you
talking
really
about the same thing? Are we talking about the same
Are we
thing?
talking about
Because
Tommy Hall calling everybody pedophiles?
They're calling atheists.
no,
pedophiles.
not that. No, I mean saying something about.
All right, someone's got to take care of their background noise.
Hold on, that's me.
All right.
I didn't read exactly what the article was. It posted for Tommy. So if somebody wants to post that.
Can't hear you, Steve.
I said to read the post that you posted from Tommy. So if somebody wants to fill us in, what exactly did Tommy's post say from Arcane Logos?
What did Fiona? What did Tommy's post say? Fill him in.
Is this the post about the environmental causes of homosexuality, or is this the post about?
Oh, there's that one too.
All right, how's
Or is this the post about all atheists being pedophiles?
Yeah, I think that's the one that's caused the biggest eruption. But yeah, it all started with my comments, and which is backed up by science, that chemical exposure during development can lead to all kinds of brain dysfunctions and various diseases, such as autism, and they took that wrong. But I think the big explosive thing was the thing about the pedophile.
Yes, and I think it was Tommy. And do you know why?
Well, sure, I can understand why people would be upset, but I think that, as I explain later, their just explosive anger just seems to be like a kind of a cover-up device for protecting themselves. I mean, there's no reason. Hang on a second. There's no reason that my.
Wait, let him finish. Let him finish.
There's no reason my opinion should evoke such anger and such over-the-top madness that it really affects people that much. I mean, it's my opinion. Maybe I should have kept it to myself. Maybe I should have kept it quiet, but it's out there. But it really shouldn't make that. I mean, people have their own opinions. Some of them are wacky. Some of them are wrong. Some of them are outrageous, but it's their opinion.
Well, did you not understand though that while you voice your opinion on this, they can then voice their opinion on what you said about them.
Yeah, but my opinion was not about a person.
Let me finish this time. I'll let you finish. Basically, what you've done is you have said that they are all paedophiles. Now,
no, I didn't.
You had to. Basically, you did, Tommy. That's what you were saying.
I said there are exceptions. I didn't say all.
Wait.
You said
Is
most.
it-
You said most atheists are pedophiles.
Yes, that's what he said. Now,
Is
what I'm
that a
saying
claim that most atheists are pedophiles? Is that actually claim that most most atheists are pedophiles? Is that something that's really?
I said it was my opinion is that most atheists. What I said is my opinion is that most atheists are pedophiles.
Yes,
Okay.
you did. Now, here's what I want to say to you. You say you've got the right to voice that opinion. Well, everybody else has got the right to voice a disgust at your opinion.
Yeah,
That's
because
fine.
that's their opinion.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
I can have the opinion that Tommy Hall's a big raging douchey dick, but that's my opinion.
But see, my
Well, I don't go
comment-
typing that all over the internet.
My comment was not directed at any individual. So, you know,
I don't think that's
all
the
the
point,
comments,
Tommy.
all the comments that
Tommy,
came
it's not
my
the
way
point.
were about me. So that's the
obviously
difference.
Is his opinion, but is it really opinion worth disgusting? I mean, that's disgusting. That's kind of like this nominal childlike kindergarten bullshit. Hey, I can't read your science, so I'm call you a pedophile. I'm going to call you a child molester. That's insane.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And Tommy, all it is just insults.
Yeah.
You've got nothing to back up this opinion of yours.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Tommy, before you
I
make any
would.
posts on
I
the
would.
internet,
Let
think
me
of
point
one
this out
thing.
to you, Tommy.
What would Jesus post?
I'm a Roman Catholic.
What would Jesus do?
I'm a Roman Catholic, Tommy. And I'm having to deal with what the Roman Catholic priests did to children. Okay? They're not atheists. And by putting out such egregious statements as the one you did is offensive to anybody that has
Yeah,
to
it's
deal with
rhetoric.
this.
Just rhetoric.
Lonely, right? So.
Yeah.
I think
You
Tommy
see
was
that?
loneliness is Fiona.
Yeah, but
You know, it's funny. But Tommy has opinions like that when it comes to like Ken Hovind and people that I totally disagree with. I don't think Ken Hovind is a pedophile. I disagree with him immensely, but it'd be ridiculous for me to sit there and make false claims would have based upon no evidence whatsoever.
Actually, I wouldn't even care if you actually called him a pedophile.
Well, I think it'd be I think it's disgusting. I mean, why
Yeah.
people think that there's no evidence for it?
oh,
Do I think
You
it's
just do it for the hell of it, I guess. Right? Just
Ken
like
Hovind does a lot of things, but I don't think he's a pedophile.
right?
No.
It would speak to Steve's character.
You see, this is the thing, Tommy. You've lived an accusation against
blame
people
how you
you
want.
don't know.
Yeah, that's why I left. That's why I left it open. That I didn't say
No,
all. I didn't say
exactly, you've
all
leveled an
atheists are
accusation.
pedophiles. Here's my
No,
reason.
no, Tommy, let me say this
Here's my
again.
reasoning.
You missed what I said. You've leveled an accusation like that against people that you don't even know.
It's my opinion.
Well, he's
it's a
going to tell us
broad-based
why he
opinion.
reasoned it. Let him reason this. I'm interested.
Okay, so my basic reasoning is just from my experience on here, my experience just surfing the web, coming across general, people here and there who are atheists. A large percentage of atheists seem to either be gay or bi or extremely, extremely friendly to that. Almost to the point where...
What is that?
Wait a minute.
actually, if you called me
What does
a
being
pedophile-
gay or bi have to do with pedophilia?
Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
nothing.
Nothing.
I'm getting there. So, and that's what it seems to me that a large percentage of atheists have some sort of gay experience in their background, or are currently gay, or currently bi, or currently trans. So so you have that. Then there is the really nasty bit of information that the vast majority of pedophilia events are initiated by gay people.
Bollocks.
And that is that is the
I know what
elephant
he's talking
that
about.
is the elephant in the room that nobody in society wants to mention is that gay people have a really bad tendency to be pedophiles.
Tommy,
And
you
to be
Bollocks. I'll tell you.
to be attracted to twinks and young kids. You can say bollocks all you want, but that's what everybody knows. That's the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
No,
Tommy,
I don't
Tommy,
even know what a twink
hang on.
is.
Oh,
Tommy,
so that's my opinion. Okay, it may be wrong, but that's my opinion.
Right, and it's welcome to their opinion, but this is just demonstrating how bad creationists have gotten, and to the point of absurdity that they cannot refute the science. They're just going to label atheist pedophiles. Think that homosexual is pedophilia. This is demonstrable how bad the situation has got with immigration. I mean, you are perfectly demonstrating. I've said all along. There is no scientific study out there that leads homosexuality pedophilia. Everyone that has been is thoroughly refuted and being wrong. This like goes back 30 years from the Family Research Council when they came out with their studies, and they've got blast for having completely misrepresented the data. First of all, even most samples use 80 or 80 are actually not denominational people that samples used. Okay, they weren't atheists. They were people that didn't believe God. They didn't have any religious affiliation. They were non-affiliated. It's straight, Tommy. This is ridiculous. I want to continue. I mean, but you're doing nothing but harming.
It's easily investigatable. People can look up.
Look up the numbers. Is your evidence?
Just do a Google search on it, and I'm not going to sit here and try to back it up all by memory, but it's out there.
How about you show us your research? Well,
let's see it for me.
I didn't prepare for that to come on here and talk about that or.
Hang on, I know what he's talking about. Hang on, I know what he's talking about.
I do too. It's from the creationist.
Wait a minute.
The Family Research Council. Same thing. Creationists always.
I should have said I think I know what he's talking about.
It's
when a lot of young gay men have their first gay encounter with older men, and sometimes they're they're 15 and 16, and they usually have their first encounter with 20-year-olds. So maybe that's what he's talking about. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Please let me put this out there.
You're not letting me
say this.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
God damn it.
Sorry, I thought you'd finished.
I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Go ahead, Fiona.
I wanted to just say something that we can also say that most heterosexuals have their first sexual encounter before they're 16.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, that doesn't really mean anything.
An older woman.
To say that.
I had mine with an older woman.
Look, I have my reasons for saying it. I have the reasons for my opinions. I will say I regret saying it. I don't really believe that most atheists are pedophiles. So
okay, well, let me ask you this, Tommy.
Hang on, I will backtrack on that. I do believe a large portion of atheists do seem to tend to lean homosexual or bi, and they do, and homosexuals seem to lean.
Still have no hard evidence.
Tommy, every hangout he talks about gay people.
But I'm not going to say that most all homosexuals or atheists are pedophiles.
Because when I was a Christian, I was all about the pussy, but then I became an atheist. Now I'm all about the dick. I mean, that's stupid.
Hey, Tommy.
No, I'm sorry, Tommy. This is nonsense.
Of course,
this is nonsense.
But let me ask Tommy here, Fiona, if I really may, because I'm breaking up, I'm getting a delay here. Let me ask Tommy a question, and I don't want you to name names. I don't want you to say any names, but I want you to give me kind of a number of all the atheists you've run across in the Google Hangouts, especially the ones I've been in. Okay, it's kind of the same people. How many of those people you honestly say you think are false?
You're breaking up. Are homosexuals?
No, pedophiles.
I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna say.
No, just give me a number.
I have no idea.
I think it'd be about 0. I don't know. Any of my
just
friends.
admit you were talking out of your ass, and we'll move on.
Yeah, I couldn't say any of them. I think would pedophile. Do I think some of them might have homosexual tendencies? Yeah, I could say a good 8%, probably 10% of my probably have, but that's fine.
Well, I think it's higher than that, and I think if we're all honest, there is a connection between the gay crowd and pedophilia. I mean, I don't think it's controversial. I think everybody in society knows it. I think everybody in society knows it, but they don't want to talk about it.
Okay, well that's been disproven. So can we move on? That is disproven multiple times by actual psychologists in the field, and they have gone through studies and found out these are skewed, and there's no correlation whatsoever between pedophilia and homosexual behavior. 0.
Yeah.
So that is the actual facts.
Actually, you're going against the data here. You're actually ignoring the data, which says the opposite. and sticking to your fantasy view.
See, I think
That's
any
the
numbers you
bad
can
thing, Tommy.
Fiona,
You need to
any
actually...
numbers you can show me. Hang on, let me say something. There's a giant stigma, especially for little boys. There's something about being a boy that if you're attacked or abused or touched in a sort of a bad way as a little child or growing up,
The way Tommy was.
you have a tendency. Why is it funny?
It isn't funny.
Hang on. You had a little boy, a boy growing up.
It's not
gonna
funny,
have a
it's the timing of the joke.
to sit on that and not say anything about it. So I think there's probably a huge percentage of little boys who say nothing. So you can show me all the stats you want, but I don't think they're going to reflect reality.
How many sons do you have, Tommy?
I post.
How many sons do you have, Tommy?
I don't have any.
Right. I've got one. And I know that if something like that had happened to him when he was little, I would have known, because he would have come to me.
Well, just Google
So don't tell me what little boys
Google unreported
will and will not do.
sexual
Just like I won't tell you what little
boys.
girls will do.
It's out there and it's known and it's accepted.
No,
it's not controversial.
Tommy, no.
No,
Tommy.
again, you have no research into it. You're just basically
Accepted
pulling
by who?
Yeah, I mean, what research you look at? You said you don't have any prepared, so we know you have not looked into it. You've not looked into the Family Research Council, that their papers were thoroughly dismissed by actual experts.
Yes.
So you're going by research, Taylor. How many decades are obsolete?
I'm going by common sense. Little boys aren't going to
good old common
The one thing that common sense isn't.
Wait. Are we sure that Tommy's just not trolling? I mean,
So if a dad messes with his son, is his son going to tell somebody?
Maybe he was 20. He didn't win.
I don't know, Tommy. Did you tell somebody when you're dead? No, never mind.
I'm sorry, Tommy.
I don't think Tommy is a troll. I think he's just in the closet.
That's quite possible.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think you're
walker in the
right.
closet.
Look, guys.
Tommy, we don't care if you're gay. We accept you for who you are, man.
Look, I mean, I honestly don't know why Tommy has decided that to hang everything on this idea of his. I have no idea why he's decided to hang it all on this. But Tommy, you are utterly wrong on this. Utterly wrong. And if your belief...
No, it's not opinion.
Yeah,
that's fact.
well,
We can
maybe, but
we read
the
words.
data is out there, Tommy. You can go and look at it. Go and look at the data. Actually, look at the data.
That's fine, but as
Look
I
at
said,
the peer-reviewed literature.
Data that's not in the data.
Yeah,
No,
Tom,
go and look at the peer-reviewed literature.
this
Go
is
and look.
awesome.
I mean, seriously, Tommy, do you know what you're doing, Tommy? You're coming across as a tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy theorist. You're buying into every single ridiculous idea out there to confirm your own biases.
Or
And I've found this again and again and again with a lot of the fundamentalist Christians. They are homophobic bigots, but they don't want to admit their bigotry. And for that reason, they try and use the Bible to excuse it.
Hello?
And I think that's what
do you want to come
here.
out, Tommy? You can do it right here. We won't judge you.
No, I'm looking something up. Go ahead, keep talking.
Okay.
All right.
Looks like I can't come out.
It's okay. He doesn't
I
want.
posted a little study in the side chat showing a link between homophobia and homosexuality.
Well, he is awfully homophobic. We'll give him that. Even he probably won't admit that.
Well, can I just say one thing here real quick?
Sure.
Because Tommy's been saying he stated his opinion, okay? There's a difference between stating your opinion and actually attacking somebody. And when you say stuff like at least 90% of you atheists have had schlongs pounded into your STD-infected rectums, kind of an attack.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than opinion.
Yeah, remember, Tommy, what would Jesus post?
Do you know, I want to remind you something.
Pedophiles.
I want to remind you something, Tommy. There was a certain phrase I had never come across in my life. And you know I'm a biologist. And I'm not a shrinking violet either. Yet I had never heard of the term ass juice until you used it. I had no idea what ass juice was until you explained what you meant by ass juice. So I want to ask you this.
What is the big
How
deal
did
about that
you
term?
know about that and I
That's
didn't?
because you don't read your Bible. It's in the Bible.
What is the big deal about that term? People always remember that term, like it really just sunk in. And
Yeah, have you never asked yourself why, Tommy? Have you never
it was
asked
just a
yourself
spur of the
why?
moment term. It means nothing.
Yeah, Tommy, I couldn't have
Why?
come up with that in the spur of the moment to save my life. Seriously, Tommy, it gives the idea that you're absolutely obsessing over ass. It really does.
Doesn't he mention homosexuality like once every hangout? Literally.
Yeah.
No, Tommy, no, I'm not lying. Have you gone a single hangout without talking about homosexuality? This is indicative of somebody
I'm not the one
really...
who y'all brought it up this time.
What's that?
I never bring
You're
it
this
up.
time giving your comments.
Well,
And you want your
I
comments
tried
to
not
stay
to bring it up.
private. Don't
Well, I didn't
post
know
in the
that.
public
I saw
thread.
Isaiah mentioning it. I know the conversation. I just saw Isaiah posting. It wasn't something I could read on my computer. And I said that he was like, getting on you about something, but I had no idea what it regards to. Now I know. It's like, oh, this is ridiculous.
I actually try to avoid talking about the gay stuff anymore, honestly, because look,
I like talking about.
He keeps talking about it. He's out of
I'm
himself.
fabulous. I'll talk about gay stuff if I want.
You
My
guys
hand. I'm
cannot
straight.
you cannot discern the difference between me talking about gay topics, political topics, and you're assuming that those mean that I hate gays, that I'm a bigot, that I want gay people, and it's just a political topic. It's a belief. It's a
Political topic. Political topic.
It's a
Yes,
Hold on a minute. I want to look at this political topic, right?
It is a political topic.
Ow.
Do you want to link to the screenshot, Fiona?
It's identity politics.
I just put a link on the side about how boys often don't report sexual abuse or violence.
Have you ever known anybody
for
that
goodness
was?
sake, you're making that one up as well. Good
How am I
grief.
making it up? It's a link. How could I make that up on the spot with a video?
Tommy,
Oh.
girls are just as reluctant as boys. For goodness sake.
Doesn't matter
Get
what
the
you
head
think.
out of your ass.
We know this isn't true.
Tommy, avoid,
I'm going to look.
source.
I want to look at this political. This is a political comment.
It's a political agenda that
Homosexuality
it's the gay agenda that really irritates me. It's not individual.
Right, let's have a look at this. Okay, guys, I'm screen sharing this now. Can you see it?
No.
Okay.
Is this the gay
This is-
agenda? Share it.
Right here, this is political comment. You clowns over the top anger is nothing but a shield used for self-protection, a cover-up to hide the fact that your puny little fake and artificially propped up self-esteems have been punctured by the truth, which is that at least 90% of you atheists have had schlong pounding in your STD-infected rectums. And now my comments have effortlessly dislodged all the pain and guilt, causing you to re-experience all the humiliation and guilt that inevitably accompanies such shameful acts. My comments remind you atheists of your stints in old truck stop bathrooms, of the fact that you probably have herpes, of the fact that you probably have a low life expectancy due to being riddled with various diseases, due to the pain and guilt of past sexual sins, and due to the fact that you're mortified that your kids or family will find out about your shameful, humiliating past. But hey, you're just animals, so anything goes, right? No need for you acting
Was that-
feel bad about... What's that? No need
was a
for you
response to how
acting
angry you guys
to feel bad about the armpit of civilization. You have no morals and no eternal consequences. You can't help it. It's no wonder you act like animals and think nothing of shoving nasty things up your ass.
And
That's
that's
almost
Tommy Rose?
political.
That's a response to how angry and out of control
Wait.
the atheists have gotten
Tommy, did
at the
you write
original
that?
post that I made. Yes, I wrote that.
That is the post
did you
Tommy
write
made.
that?
He says he only talks about the political side of it.
Yeah, wait. How
That was not
Has
political.
anybody pointed out how angry this comment is? Tommy was
kidding?
angry.
Holy shit, Tommy! You issue, man. That's like anger right there.
No, it's
calling
not.
us out on our
I was
anger?
actually
Bullshit.
laughing the whole time I wrote it.
Well,
Bullshit.
probably. Well,
You're
no,
full of shit,
I might
Tony.
believe that because Tommy likes
Wait
to
a
get
minute.
aroused.
You were laughing when you are talking about other people
No,
having
hold
been
on.
humiliated.
It's talking about people as
You
a
found
group.
that
It's
funny,
not about
Tommy?
individuals.
Tommy, I'm
Yeah,
asking you a question.
Sir,
You
we happen
found
to
it
want-
funny when you were talking about people being humiliated? You found that funny?
Yeah, we like
Fiona, I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't talking to Steve. I wasn't talking to Isaiah. I wasn't talking to anybody. It's just a ghost that I'm talking to.
No,
means-
you're talking to people, Tommy. Get it through your head.
Tommy,
No, I'm not talking to individuals.
Tom, don't call a bigot. What is not bigoted about what you wrote? Oh my God, about as bigoted as you get. That's a definition of bigotry.
How? What did I say there that's bigoted?
Oh God, Tommy, if that has to be explained to you and something's seriously wrong, that was just bringing violence and hatred and bigotry, man.
Nah,
Seriously.
whatever.
This is some real G-Man level retroactive rationalization going on here.
Hell yeah.
There's
Also,
the whole post screen shared.
See, I just like to say this seems eerily familiar. This is what Stalin said. It's like if you kill one person, it's murder. If you kill a million, it's just a statistic.
yeah, that's pretty much what Tommy's saying. Is if he says something about all atheists, it's cool because he's not talking about people.
Yeah.
Right. He's kind of dehumanizing the
Yeah, but see, look at you guys. All you guys have done since I've been here, and ever since I've made those comments, I've received tons of hate mail to me personally. How much of an a-hole I am, or a c-word, or effing this or that. See, I see as insulting a group. Insulting a group.
Well, Tommy,
Insulting a
if you
group
don't
is
like
nowhere
it,
near as
dish it.
egregious as insulting an individual.
No, you
Why?
Tommy, if you don't like it,
Wow.
don't dish it. That's what
Wow.
I'm saying.
Tommy,
You seem to
Tommy,
think
people
you should get a free pass to say that about people.
Right. People are just
You
responding
don't
to your
get a free
bigotry.
pass
That's
to
all.
say
They don't
that
hate.
about people.
They're
Christians
hating
are
your
pieces of shit. Muslims are savages.
Yeah, you know,
It's no different. That's a good example. That's no different.
Mexicans
No, that was a
are
bigoted comment.
Right, I don't like bigot of any kind. I don't like it when people. I don't like it when people make bigoted Christian comments. I don't like people making bigoted Muslim comments. I don't like bigotry. Period. So when you do it, it's no different than somebody saying, "Oh, Jesus Christ, this, that, and I hate Christians, and Christians are evil scum."
That happens all the time on here.
I know,
all
and
the
I could do
time.
that for it just as much, Tommy.
now there are two possibilities,
You've
Tommy.
never heard
Either you're an idiot or you're lying. It's one of those.
Or the possibility is that I have valid reasons for my opinion.
No, you have no valid
you
reason
don't.
to say
Believe
that.
you do. You only
No.
believe you
You
do.
guys
Not-
don't believe it. You don't agree with me, but that's fine. But I think I have valid reasons for my opinion.
I think Tommy is just talking out his
You're
ass.
still a hateful bigot.
Well, wait a minute, and I think that's fine. You have your opinion. If I say keep it to yourself, then that's wrong on my part too. But if you're gonna get called out on your bullshit.
Right,
Expect
we're
it.
going to confront you on your data because your data is severely wrong.
Sorry, Steve.
And also,
Okay.
well, no, saying it to one person or a group of person doesn't change that it's a bigoted, hateful comment. I don't see how that changes anything. It just doesn't.
It doesn't.
Yeah, and at the same
Well, there's
time,
one
like I said, sorry, Steve.
But what if it's true? But what if it's true that most atheists are gay and most gays
Not
are
over
pedophiles?
90%.
Hang on. Let's assume for a moment. Let's give Tommy the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume it 100% accurately and true. Oh, the fuck what? There's no causation or correlation there. You
Okay,
can be
so
an atheist
if
and
it's
it can
true,
be.
okay, I'm just saying if it's true. But if it's true, then why can I say the truth?
You're not giving the truth. You're giving false information. You're giving bad data.
Why can I give my opinion?
You can give your opinion, Tommy.
But opinion is not based upon data.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the
wait a
problem,
minute.
Tommy.
We're
If you
forgetting that
want
Tommy is entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to think we're all pedophiles. That's
No,
fine.
sure. Here's the
I have
thing.
no problem with him thinking that.
Let me have 15
Whatever the
seconds.
hell he wants makes him look stupid, not us.
This whole
point is
reaction, this
as I
whole
said-
reaction from you people is exactly what I was talking about in that response. It's unbelievably over the top, and it tells me that I've hit a sweet spot or a painful spot.
Tommy,
that
laugh
guys-
at you.
That you guys are just absolutely damaged by a flippant, off-the-cuff comment, and that's weird. And it makes me think there's something to
Tommy,
it.
listen.
Tommy, I'm not
Tommy.
offended. I'm not gay. Why would I get offended?
No, Tommy, I'll tell you why I'm offended by it. Because I'm a Christian, remember? And I don't want tar to the same brush that you are. The comments are offensive. Now, you want the right to voice your opinion. Great. But other people then have the right to voice their opinion about what you have just said. And what those posts of yours were absolutely disgraceful and hateful and malicious and vicious.
Well, you have to remember also that second one was.
And that's my opinion.
Hang on, Fiona. That second one was after 24 hours of absolute attacks from the first one. So yeah, I mean, that was,
so now
I was kind of
it
on
was
the
an
edge.
emotional response.
I was
Now
kind of on
you
the
admit
edge
it's
by
an
the time I saw
emotional
the second one,
response.
even though it was kind of entertaining.
Wait a minute, so wait a minute. You get an emotional response from people to your first post, and then you have an emotional response to what they're doing, but then you chide them for having an emotional response to your posts.
No, I chide them for
Nowhere.
for attacking me personally. When I didn't attack them personally.
You did. You did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You
So
did.
if they don't qualify for
Group of people.
if they don't qualify for that, and like Steve's a good example, if he's not gay and he's not a pedophile, then why should he get upset?
I get upset because you being bigotry, giving misinformation.
It's not misinformation. It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
You said you had studies that backed up your data, and we know that's a lie. I can tell you, everybody in this panel knows that's a lie.
I said you could look it up. I didn't say I had studies.
Find out you're wrong. That your data is wrong. You said look it up, and we all have. We've been on this road a long time, and we are quite familiar with all the bullshit data that came out of the Family Council research bullshit fiasco.
I just think this whole thing that has blown up is just so odd because it shouldn't even affect people.
Tommy, you started
People put no credit to what I say. So what do you care?
Tommy, that should show you your comments were beyond the pale.
People don't care what I think or say.
Yeah,
so what does this bother you?
Tommy, it shows a really bad judge of character there. I mean, you're not even talking science anymore. You've gone to the realm of G-Man level.
I didn't claim it to be science.
No,
I said it was my opinion.
But that's the point.
just
You
ad
are
hominem
claiming to have
attacks.
data to support it.
Come on now, Tommy.
I could probably find something.
So what exactly are you saying?
Probably find
Are you
something.
taking it back, say it was just a joke, now it's not?
Yeah, first it was most atheists, now it's not most atheists, and it's some atheists. I don't know.
He was joking before, but he's not. But like now that he said he was joking and people took it so seriously, he thinks it's not a joke. And so, like, what is it that you actually think now? Clear it up for us.
Can you not understand that sometimes? Hang on a second. Can you not understand that sometimes you may say something flippantly and without really thinking about it? That is a false exaggeration. I already did. I already said that. I already took those words back. I don't believe that most atheists are pedophiles.
Then why are you saying them again in here?
Okay, so if you already took it back, then let's move on.
He took it back about the pedophiles.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's still saying it in here. He's still saying it in here.
Yeah, and now he's also saying, he's adding the qualifier that now that we got so mad, he's thinking it is true.
Sorry, I'm just moving I just want to move the fuck on from this.
Yeah, that really is
ridiculous.
Odd.
Yeah, I think so.
People like rebuttal what he says, and he thinks he like scored kind of brownie points or hit a nerve, and it's like, no, dude, you're so way off base. You don't even know what planet you're living on anymore.
It did hit a nerve. You guys are just
no, it didn't. It was beyond the pale.
Look, Fiona. If some atheist, let's just say Alex Botner, JD, or any of them, it said, I think all Christians are pedophiles. I would think absolutely nothing about it, and think I would not even say a word. I could care less.
Well, I'd be offended by that.
But there's something about the truth that makes people pissed off.
People would have reacted in exactly the same way to that comment as they have to yours.
Yeah.
That's what you don't get. This isn't a split down atheist Christian lines. This is a space about common bloody decency.
No shit, right?
Again, if JD said something.
No matter
how ridiculous it is, and they say stuff all the time, Fiona. I say nothing, and most Christians say nothing.
Red herring.
Fiona. It doesn't work the other way.
They would be called out for it.
The problem is when something has a ring of truth, then that's when people get pissed off.
Again.
No, that's not true.
If there was absolutely untrue and nothing to it, you guys would just blow it up.
Tommy, first of all,
that's not true at all.
Yeah, that's not true at all, because there's a flippant comment that we all have done probably, and there's another one with an assertion. You're making an assertion, and the problem is we've been down this road, Tommy. We understand the arguments given. They've done before. We've already refuted that numerous times. It's outdated, antiquated information based upon very pissed stuff. We all know it's not stupid. We looked into this. That's why we can't believe that day and age of 2016 there are still people like yourself bringing shit up when it's already utterly demolished.
Yes.
It's amazing people can be that stupid.
Tommy,
Here's a true one.
Witness.
All Christian-funded creationists are dishonest.
How often I hear that?
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Usually, yeah.
See, and I even say, well, you know what? There might be an honest younger creationist out there. I don't know too many, if any. You have to define what I mean by honest. I think, because I think that
There are some.
There are some, but I think they still lie to themselves, and I don't know how.
That's dishonesty in
they
itself.
will truly admit it's just on faith. They won't try.
Well, that would be honest. Expect
yeah,
that.
They don't try and prove it scientifically. They don't make claims that all the evidence proves them right. They just say, look, I accept it on faith. Yes, it goes against the scientific evidence that's been gathered, but I have to trust that God has a reason for that. That's fine, if that's what they're saying. That's honest.
Well, that's about as honest as you can get from that kind of position, sure.
Yeah. And I've got absolutely no problem with that. It's when you start using the science.
Right, I can't refute an opinion or belief system. That's up to the individual. It's when you said when they start getting into the scientific realm, that, hey, let's demonstrate to you that your understanding of the science is wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when you run into problems. Because it means that they actually have to, shall we say, misrepresent the science.
Okay, we'll take humanity. We'll take the numbers of humanity. Go back in time, start cutting the population in half, and see how far back you go before humanity runs back down to 0 or to 2. It's not long. What is it, 5,000 years?
What has that got to do with what I'm actually saying?
Absolutely. You're asking about young Earth creationism and scientific evidence. I'm surprised.
Tommy, you're honestly advocating a 0.5%. What is it? What growth rate were you saying?
He was saying 50%.
You could take even
because the one in AIG is 0.5%.
Pretty much.
It's
anything around that would not get you anywhere near hundreds of millions of years.
Right, because that's not how population works. That's a linear regressive model that we don't use because population is a differential equation, not a linear one.
Even back in the 70s, I think the population has doubled in the past 30 years. And just go back in time.
So how do you use a flat population growth rate?
Tommy, how far back do you want to go with your numbers? How far back do you want to go with your numbers?
5,000-6,000 years.
That's all.
The Neanderthals are, what is there, about 300 of them dug up? There's about 26 Homo erectus. As you go back further in time to the old populations, there's very, very few of these individuals. If they live for 2 million years, there should be gazillions of them.
Isn't there anything new? I mean,
Tommy, only Neanderthals and humans buried their dead. Well, Neanderthals and Homo sapiens buried their dead. So of course there's going to be more of them.
Right, and if Neanderthals died out 30 to 40,000 years ago.
But they lived for 2 million years.
I mean, we know that though.
Well, not each individual one, Tommy.
Well, obviously.
And remember, fossilization is a rare process.
Yeah.
They don't have to fossilize, Fiona. They're dug up unfossilized. They've had their genomes tested. So that means they're not fossilized.
They managed to get DNA from teeth.
Well,
and they haven't got enough DNA
Neanderthal bones have not fossilized.
They do not have the DNA of the Neanderthals fully.
We have
mitochondrial DNA.
Yeah.
Fiona, can you fasten one of those cigarettes, please?
We have bits and pieces.
But even looking at the skull in Isaiah, I'll tell you all.
Steve will be back. Just give him a moment. His computer probably crashed.
Yeah.
But all you have to do is run the hard numbers. I mean, you have to insert
on you go then, Tommy. On you go and run your hard numbers, Tommy. We are not doing your work for you. You want the numbers run,
It's
you
very
go
simple.
run them.
Just divide the
On you go
population in
then.
half every
On you
50
go.
years. See what happens.
Go and do
Yeah.
it.
Show us.
Show us the
Show us.
sums. Show
Because
your working.
the populations 5,000 years ago had antibiotics and had dentistry and definitely wouldn't die of something like a broken leg or a tooth abscess or anything like that, and lived to maturity.
So what? They'd
and
still be
definitely
alive.
didn't have an infant mortality rate.
You just see lots of kids in the ground.
And remember,
That-
you've
that
got to
might
get
be-
back. You have to get back to only. You have to get back to only 8 individuals 4,500 years ago.
Yeah.
So on you go, Tommy. If it's so simple, go run your numbers.
So why is there only
Show us
20
your working.
to 40 Homo erectus, Fiona? If they
people
live
know.
for 2
Tommy,
million years.
you need
That's
to
all
come
we
on.
found.
Get us back
Think
to
about it.
8
You guys are the one
individuals.
messing with the science, not us. We're looking
No,
at the hard
Tommy,
work.
I'm asking.
Thinking here,
Bullshit.
Tommy.
You're not looking at shit.
Tommy,
Guys,
I've
let-
already
please let me
explained
say
this. Oh,
Please let me say this. Tommy, you're the one that has made this assertion. I suggest that you go and, working from today's population, work your way back and get yourself back to 8 individuals 4,500 years ago. On you go. You suggested it. You said it was simple. You do it. It's your
I
argument.
don't know how,
You
I don't know how long
support it.
humanity's been here.
Look, Tommy,
said anything about
halfway
Going
through the
back to
math
the
here.
flood and 8 individuals, Tommy.
Even AIG says it's 6,000, so I don't know where you're getting 4. Are you talking about the flood?
Yes, I'm talking about the flood. 8 individuals. What did you think? There was 4 Adams and 4 Eves.
Okay,
8
okay.
individuals at the flood. Good grief, man.
Yeah, just start doubling it, or
On you go.
start cutting it in half.
On you go. This is your
It seems
brilliant
like
idea.
In
Do it.
the 70s, we had a population of less than 4 billion,
Support your argument.
and now it's like 8 or 9.
Run the numbers, Tommy. Run the numbers. This is your argument. Support it. You do the work. We're not doing your work for
It's
you.
not gonna, no matter what it is, Fiona, it's not going to go back 200 or 2 million years to the beginning of Homo erectus. Come on.
Matthew,
Do
Matthew.
the work.
And it's certain.
Humans in its
Tommy,
current form
do the
won't
work.
work around for about
Go
100,000 years.
Intellectually lazy. Do the work.
Go do it.
Stop asserting and start proving. All you
Yeah,
gotta
and wait a
do-
minute. I got a question. What do you think, according to theology? What do you think, according to evolutionary biology, Homo erectus were in relationship to Homo sapiens? Do you have
I can't hear you.
Say again, Steve.
You're breaking up.
God damn it, Steve.
I want you to let this sink in. There were 300 to 500 Neanderthals. Let that sink in. They lived for supposedly 2 million years. Where are all the bones? They made civilization.
hold on.
They set up camp.
You haven't.
They
found-
buried
Wait,
them.
no,
Where
Neanderthals
are
don't-
all the
Fuck,
people?
Tommy.
Where are all the people?
Tommy, Neanderthals don't go back that far. They don't go back that far. They go back around only a few 100,000 years. And
Okay,
they
okay,
buried their dead, so of course you're going to find
They go
more
back
of
to 2
them.
million years old. Look it up.
Tommy, just run the
Present
numbers.
your evidence.
Neanderthals?
Go on.
I just look at the body
You've
count, Fiona.
proposed this experiment, so carry it out. You want to
Supposedly,
talk
does-
science?
you have 2
Do
million
science.
years worth of humanity, and there's nobody in the ground. You do your own math.
Come
I
on.
care less what
No,
your numbers
run your
are.
numbers, Tommy. Come
No,
on,
I'm
start
not
dividing by
running
2.
That's the usual.
Yeah.
That's the usual go-to. I can care
Take
less.
landscaper.
Come on, Tommy, run the numbers. Come on. You
can
want
do
us
it.
to run the
I'm
numbers.
not doing it.
Why
I'm not
won't you
good at
run
math
the
anyway.
numbers?
Tommy, when you're putting gas in the
Why
lawnmower,
won't you
don't
run
leave
your
it in the
numbers?
tank.
You said it was simple.
It's bad for your
Run
brain.
your numbers, Tommy.
No, I'm not good at math.
So then what do
But
you
you
Only
came to this
dividing by
conclusion.
2 again and again and again.
But you came to this
about
conclusion on your own. So if you're bad at math, how did you get to this?
All you have to do is count the bones in the ground, Fiona. It's easy.
no,
It
that's
didn't happen
not.
your
I'm
way.
talking about. I'm
It
talking
didn't
about
happen
your
your
argument
way.
of dividing by 2.
Tommy.
No,
There's less than
Tommy,
50
your argument
Homo
of dividing by
erectus.
2, Tommy. We're talking
Wow.
about your
Okay.
argument of dividing the human population by 2 over and over and over again. If dividing by 2 is too hard for you, then why did you say it was so simple to
No,
do it?
I can't do it
And
now
why
when
did
I'm on
you
the spot
want
on
us
air.
to do it?
I don't
Do
know how
it.
to do that very quickly on
Wait.
air.
We'll wait.
Do
You
it.
said it was simple.
No, I'm not going to do it.
You said it
No,
was
I want
simple.
something to
Do
talk
it.
about
You
it.
wanted us to
Oh,
do
that's
it.
because you
So
do it.
what? So divide by 2 every 30 years?
Sure, why not?
Well, you're going to have
Go through
to
30
work out what the generation time is. This is your calculation. Remember,
It's
it's not
not
up to
better.
me to do your work.
Wait, hang on. There are too many people in the room. If he can't, wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay.
Maybe Nephilim Free would like to weigh in on this one, Fiona.
Oh, shit. God damn it, he's here. God fuck.
Weigh in on what?
Oh, hey, Neff. We're talking about population numbers and how humanity goes back in time to the fact that the numbers don't work out when you start dividing the population. And going back, the further back in time you go, the smaller the numbers of humanity gets. Yeah. And I'm just saying there's not enough. The evolutionists insert time in that scenario to make their theory work. I'm just saying when you dig up the Neanderthal bones, there's like 400 or 500 of them. There's only a couple there's only a couple dozen Homo erectus bones. So bones that are 2 million years old, there's only a few individuals that have ever been dug up, and that just doesn't jive with the idea that Neanderthals lived for 2 million years or Homo erectus lived for 2 million years. There should be bones piled up to the sky if that were the case.
Well, there should be a plethora of fossils. That's for sure.
Well, no, Nephew, you're not allowed to say fossils. Tommy says they're not fossils.
Oh, it's
This
true,
is bones that aren't fossilized, according to Tommy.
Yes, they're not.
So you've got to find unfossilized bones.
Right, they're not. But there would be lots of fossils if the evolution.
No, you're not allowed fossils of the Neanderthals. Tommy says they're not fossilized.
I know that.
So don't talk about Neanderthal fossils.
Listen to me, Fiona. I said if it were true, there would be lots of fossils.
But Tommy's not talking about fossils.
I understand.
He's saying none of them are fossilized.
I understand.
So you can't talk about fossils.
I understand. Listen again. If
Right, then don't talk about fossils.
There would be lots of fossils.
You're not getting it, are you? Tommy's saying they're not fossilized.
And Neff doesn't get shit, Fiona. You might as well try to explain into a brick wall.
These bones are not fossilized is evidence against evolution. I said, try to comprehend what I'm saying. I said,
no, that's not evidence against
you're not getting this at all.
You didn't even get Tommy's
That is an unsupported assertion.
There we go.
Unsupported. It does not in any way refute any part of evolution. No.
So
I honestly I don't take creationists seriously on fossils. A lot of people say that Satan put those fossils there. A lot of them say that it's evidence of the flood. Like they can't get their story straight on it. To be honest with you,
Satan put those fossils.
Yeah. My statement was
that is one of the arguments.
One of the silliest fucking stories I've ever heard in my life.
So, but they have preserved these fossils is evidence against evolution.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Well, you're not using your mind. You're not.
There aren't enough. Oh, I'm not using my mind. Oh,
no. Why are you expect so many fossils? Why?
Evolution is just the change in allele frequency within a population over time.
That's an insufficient definition.
There isn't a single mention of fossils in that definition.
That's an insufficient definition for evolution, and it's still.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's
evolution.
There's a simple definition for evolution.
There would be a plethora of fossils.
Genetics changes over time.
The more geologic.
Genetic changes over time.
The more geologic time you add for your theory, the more fossils there should be.
No.
Well, that's going to go back to dating, not evolution. Dating.
Because erosion isn't a thing.
Evolution supposedly produced all the various kinds of life in the Darwinian tree by countless successive generations.
Yes, we know that.
Why are you denying
no such thing as a kind. Now you're using
the definition
creationist terms.
The definition of evolution doesn't mention fossils. Neither does it mention the age of the Earth.
Why are you denying?
Neither does it mention any dating methods.
It doesn't mention.
So your argument is with the age of the Earth and dating methods.
No, I'm not talking about them. I'm saying
because evolution doesn't mention the age of the Earth
you guys
and dating methods.
Unbelievably dense.
No. Not at all.
Projection,
not at all.
Complete and utter
Kettle, thy name is pot.
Kettle, my
name is
pot. Are you trying to tell me then that if evolution produced one type of living thing from another over long periods of time, then the more time there is to produce all of the types of living things, you would not have increased numbers of fossils exponentially? Or are you saying what you're actually saying?
Well, what I am saying is that the definition of evolution.
I wasn't talking
is
about
the
the definition.
Excuse me.
You
don't
did bring it
interrupt
up.
me,
Let her
don't
talk.
interrupt me.
Shut up. Let her talk.
We got to set up a system. Otherwise, we'll just be talking over each other. We got to let people finish their sentences. So, Dr. Robinson, could you elaborate, please?
The definition of evolution is the change in allele frequencies within a population over time. That's the scientific definition of evolution. Evolution is a process. It's a process that occurs within populations, and we observe that process. Now, the theory of evolution describes the mechanism by which the process comes about, and that is natural selection acting upon genetic variation within that population. None of the definitions say anything about the age of the Earth or dating methods. Nothing at all. That's it. If you want to take issue with the age of the Earth, then you're going to have to, it's not evolution you have to tackle, it's the geology and the rock dating methods.
I wasn't talking
says nothing
about the
age of the Earth.
I wasn't talking about the age of the Earth. I wasn't talking about about genetics. I wasn't talking about any of the things you're trying to stuff into what I was saying. And your definition for evolution is completely and wholly inadequate to explain evolution.
No, it's not. It's completely accurate.
All I was saying is, if Tommy pointed out that there is an absence of fossils of these imagined transitional forms to man, and that is true. And the point is that Tommy made is, if these creatures existed over periods of hundreds of thousands of years, a few million years, then there should be lots more of these creatures in the fossil form than we do find. So pointing out that Neanderthal bones have not fossilized is irrelevant to what I said. Now do you understand?
Okay. Grateful apostate, you gotta drop, because Steve, the guy who made it, drop from the hangout, and he needs to get back in. Otherwise, he's gonna go off air.
Yeah. Okay. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. Well, I have nothing to say about this particular subject. I'll hold my tongue until I have something to offer.
I think that the point is that Tommy wasn't talking about transitionals at all. He was talking about populations, and he was talking about time.
I'm talking about the raw bones in the ground. How many individuals they found?
Did I get to finish what I was saying, Tommy?
He also mentioned hominids, so he was talking about supposed transitional forms, weren't you, Tommy? Didn't you mention hominids?
I'm talking about Neanderthals.
Whatever,
Neanderthals,
Neanderthals. Yeah. That's what he was talking about. Not hominids. He was talking about Neanderthals.
You know, they're basically the same individual.
Is Steve trying to get on right now?
Yeah, Grateful. Hold on, Fiona. Grateful. We're trying to get the host of the Hangout back in. You were the last one in, so we need you to drop out. When the space opens up, you can always come back in again.
Sure, no problem.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Grateful.
But I'm talking about the upright creatures who are basically human. That there's just not enough numbers in the ground for the bones, and so we can play all these numbers with populations and all that going back in time. But the fact is, you just don't have enough numbers to correlate to all those years that they're supposedly around.
There you go. See, we're talking about time.
How many?
That's what we're talking about.
How many buried their dead, Tommy?
I don't know.
Yeah. Now,
Neanderthals
did.
Grateful.
No. Neanderthals did.
Grateful. Tommy, let me get in.
That's why I said
two. Grateful. You need to drop out of this hangout to let the host back in.
All right, I'm going to drop out, and then I'll come back.
You need to leave.
All right.
Right, you might get back in now. Let's see if he comes in.